Hello, Resurrection. It's March 8th, and it is awfully early for spring, but spring hath sprung whether we like it or not. And everybody keeps saying that we'll get another frost, and we probably will. But I'm not sure that we're going to be able to stop the spring at this point, frost or not. It is here. It's warm and it's beautiful, and the pollen is out. Everybody's sniffing and sneezing. But it is beautiful to watch God's creation come back. It's the metaphor for Easter, isn't it? So when spring springs early, it's hard to not talk about Easter, right? It's hard to hold off. Usually Easter happens, Palm Sunday, Easter happens right about the time you get that big first spring burst, and it's early on us this year. So I've got to tamp down my springtime excitement and remember that we're still in the midst of Lent, not even in the midst of it yet. We've got another week before the middle of Lent comes. So that's what next week is about, the feast of mid Lent. That's what the halfway Sunday is called, the feast of mid Lent. And we'll talk about that next week, but that's when you check in to see how you're doing. But I will have to say that I have been so pleased, so very pleased with the number of people who have been interested in helping us out by officiating morning prayer in the church. We're doing morning and evening prayer in the church every weekday, all through Lent, and maybe continue afterwards. And we are sometimes running 9 and 10, 11, 12 people in morning and evening prayer, and that's great as a start in a medium sized parish, as we are a smallish medium sized parish, but still a medium sized parish. That's a great start for that service. I am, that's going to kind of be the bread and butter of what I'm doing on my sabbatical this summer. Is I'll be singing evensongs in some churches in England, and I love the thought of you all as the sun goes down here and the sun goes down in England, that we'll kind of be echoing those prayer times together. London and Franklin are about 6 hours apart, so it may very well be that we're echoing those things back and forth every several hours. I love the thought of that. I also want to talk about the it's not an official project, but it's just kind of happening around us. The beautification and the cleaning out of the church. We talked about Lent being spring cleaning for our souls a couple of weeks ago, but several of you have taken that whole spring cleaning thing. You've taken that literally. I meant it metaphorically for our souls, but you also took it literally, and it's been spring cleaning at the church. And boy, does the Church of the Resurrection look good right now. It looks loved. And every time I turn around, there was a group in the parish hall when I got here on Monday, and they were scrubbing the cloth chairs, which is probably never been done since we ordered those chairs probably 30 years ago. And they smell clean and they look clean. It probably would scare me to know what was in those chairs after 30 years. The sitting areas around the church now, the new sitting areas, the closets cleaned out. My vesting room looks, I didn't know that room was so big. I didn't know that it could look as good as it looks. The lay folks vesting room, right outside of the Flower Guild room, that looks outstanding. We've hauled away things that we haven't used in 30 years and are not ever going to use, speakers that who knows where they came from or what they were used for, and things like that. And boy, everything looks dynamite. And I'm so proud of it. And so, for all of the folks that have looked around in the last few months, in the last few years, in the last decades, and said, this project or that project needs to be done at my church, I'm not going to put that on somebody's list. I'm going to go down there and I'm going to do that. Thank you for doing that. It really is how you say I love you to Mother Church. We get in here, there's nobody else to do it except for us, and so we get in here and we do that. And I think some of you have taken that on as a Lenten discipline, And I can't think of a more beautiful Lenten discipline than that. I really am very, very grateful for it, very appreciative that you love your church, that you work for your church. One of our older church ladies, it's not a secret that she's older. One of our older church ladies said to me this week what joy it filled her with to watch new generations coming up to do those things that she's been doing for decades and decades. It just gives her peace of mind, and it warmed her heart to see that happening. She said she had wondered who would be doing those kinds of things in the future. That's a beautiful place for the church to be. Tonight, I am going to be out of pocket, but I think Wednesday night is going to continue on as we normally do it. It may end a little early. It may not end a little early, but we will begin with evening prayer in the church at 5:30. With the candles lit and the lights lowered together with our brothers and sisters. That's a beautiful service. You ought to try that if you haven't done it. And it'll also teach you how to do it so that you can do it at home when you're not able to make it to church in time. So evening prayer at 5:30, potluck dinner at 6 o'clock, as we always do, and then we'll all break out into our classes and our sessions, and we end when it ends, never longer than about 7:30. So come on tonight and join your family for supper and for Bible study and youth group and children's choir and nights in Narnia and all of those things. And I will see you this very Sunday. I love you.